Hi friends, Mindy here. I have a process video for you today. I'm going to be working in this Illuminated Scripture Journal. This is the book of Hebrews, and I am going to be creating kind of a mixed media page here in this journal. This is a Bible that's basically kind of interleaved, but it's, just one book of the Bible. And so I'm just going to go through here. I have this scripture in Hebrews 2 on my mind, and so I wanted to create something. I didn't really have a plan for what I wanted to create. I just knew I wanted to do this particular verse, and then and so I had this tissue paper that was just laying on my desk, and so I thought I would start out with that. So I laid down a layer of the collage medium. This is the Tim Holtz Distress collage medium under the tissue, and then I did a layer over it, and then I dried it really well. I'm just kind of holding this down. I like to do that. It just kind of helps it lay flat. If you heat the page up really well and then kind of close it really quickly, it helps it kind of flatten out a little bit, but so that it's not curling from being dried. And now I want to add just some gesso. I'm just going to create, I have like a wash of gesso in this bottle. And so I'm just going to pour some of that on here, and then I will cover this page basically using a paintbrush, and then I'll come back in with a baby wipe and sort of dab some of that color, some of that wash back off in different places, just to kind of give it some more interest. But the verse that I'm looking at for this chapter in Hebrews, this is the ESV version, so it says, what is man that you are mindful of him, or the son of man that you care for him? And just kind of thinking about that idea about how really unworthy we are that the Lord would even care for us. And so that's kind of the thoughts that have been kind of mulling over in my head today. And so I just wanted to get that out onto some paper. And what I'm doing now is I am going around just the edges of this page with some light and fluffy modeling paste. Now, my light and fluffy modeling paste I'm at the very end, and so it was very dry, so it was kind of hard to get on there, but I just wanted some extra texture around the border of this page. And then I went back in with just a little bit more of that gesso in a few places, just kind of scraping it along there to kind of pick up some of the ripples from the tissue, just for some added texture. And then I'm going to come in with these stamps from By the Will for God. This is one of the most recent stamp sets they came out with. It's called Praise from Old, and these are a bunch of different just like psalms basically, but the type is really tiny, and so they really create some interest in the background. And so you can see I'm just stamping the whole sheet down at one time. I'm not looking for a perfect impression. I really just want this for more texture in the background. And I know it looks a little bit crazy right now, but I'm just kind of turning the stamp. I don't want, like I said, I don't want a perfect impression, so I'm just kind of pushing in little areas just to get some of this text here in the background, just for another layer of interest back there. Whenever I'm working in mixed media type things, I like to do it in layers with lots of texture and just keep building it up until I get it to where I want. So I'm going in with some Liquitex inks. These are basically acrylic ink, and so you can so it's basically like a fluid ink. And so what I'm doing is I'm going in, these are two colors. One is Phthalocyanine green, and then the other one is cerulean blue. And I love these two colors together. I use these two colors together quite a bit. When they mix, they just create the most beautiful color. And so I like to use them a lot. So I just am kind of tipping up my page here, and I started at the top. You can see they're just little dropper bottles. So I ran the colors across the top, and then I add some water, and that is going to kind of dilute it so that you can still see some of that background, because these are acrylic inks just like any other acrylic paint. If they're not a particularly translucent color, you will cover up some of the background. And so adding the water kind of helps to help them be just a little bit more transparent. You can see I'm just spraying the water. I'm adding some more color here and there. I'm going back and forth. I'm tipping this both directions to try to get the color like mostly in the middle of the page. I'm doing my best to not also get this ink everywhere else in this particular Bible. So I did get it a little bit on the second page, but that's okay. I can always cover that up. But you can just see I'm just tipping it around, just letting it kind of mix and flow and do its thing. And you can still see some of the background. And then I'm going to come in with a paper towel and just kind of dab up some of these puddles that are on there. And then because this is acrylic ink, once it dries, it will be permanent. So I'm just hitting that with my heat tool, letting that dry. And then it, you know, because of the texture paste and stuff that I have on there, it just, the color is going to kind of do different things in different areas. So I decided I wanted to add some more of the splatters. So I'm going in with this cerulean blue, and I just did a little dropper full and added some water, and then I'm using a fan brush. I just get really good drops when you use a fan brush. It's just how I like to do it. But so I'm just going through there and adding some more of that color. I really wanted it more throughout the page than just kind of up there at the top. So then I hit that with my heat tool, and I'm coming back in with some white. Now this is a tempera paint stick. This is actually a kid's art product, and it's just a lot of fun because it dries almost instantly. So it's really good. And I'm just kind of, it's like a chapstick almost. And so I'm just rubbing it around, just kind of hitting the highlights, the high points of where the texture paste is and the bumps from the tissue and all the texture that I have in the background. And then just for a second, I hit that with my heat tool. And then I use my Dymo embossing label maker to type out the word mindful. And I thought I was going to use this butterfly. This is just a little butterfly that was sitting on my desk, and it was just a little bit too small. So I remembered that I have these Tim Holtz butterflies. These are from a set called Transparent Things, I think. And so I'm just kind of going through the different butterflies that are in this this kit, or this little package. I think there are 4 or 5 of them in there. And I ended up liking this one that has some like brown and yellow, and because it's got that same blue in the wings. And so what I wanted to do now is add some more color into the background to kind of marry the two ideas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in now with some Amsterdam acrylic ink. The others were Liquitex. This is an Amsterdam brand, and this is in deep gold. And I'm trying to put this out on my thing, but my dropper is stopped because this is a metallic, and so it somehow I need to clean out the dropper. But anyway, so what I decided to do is just go in directly with my fan brush, and I'm actually painting this onto some bubble wrap, and then I'm just going to apply this just for another kind of layer of texture in the background, and to try to bring in some of those kind of gold and brown colors into the background so that this seems more cohesive. When I started out this page, I had no intention of using this particular butterfly, so now I'm kind of just trying to make them all work together. And then I went in with a few little gold splatters as well using that same fan brush. You can see I'm going to put that little butterfly there. And then I decided, since we're going metallic, I really wanted to add kind of a warmer color. So I'm coming in with Tim Holtz Distress Foundry Wax. This is in the color Statue. And if you've never seen this before, it's like, it's the coolest thing. I love using it. So I just kind of put that over there on my mat. I'm just adding it really quickly with my fingers because it will dry down to basically dust. So you kind of have to work quickly. So I'm just going around the edges and hitting some of the high points again on that texture paste and on the page, just to give it a little bit more interest. And I'm going all the way around, mostly keeping it to the edges of the page. And then you do have to heat set this, just like embossing powder has to be heat set. You have to heat set this, and you can kind of see, I tried to tilt it so you could kind of see, it happens really fast, but it just becomes the most beautiful metallic look. And so once I got my butterfly back on here, I realized I wasn't all that crazy about that deep gold Amsterdam ink. So I want to kind of knock that back into the background just a little bit. So I'm coming back in with the Liquitex ink, the cerulean blue, and just adding a little bit on, like directly onto the page, coming in with a baby wipe and kind of going over. It's not going to cover the deep gold, but it's just kind of pushing it to the background, just making it kind of not so intense, which is really what I wanted. I wanted the texture from it there, but I didn't want it to be like kind of so bright. It just seemed out of place. So now I'm going to glue down my butterfly. I'm using Helmar 450 Quick Dry. This is a clear ink, and I put some on in just kind of the body of the butterfly, and then I just smeared it out so that you can't see the line of the glue when it dries, and the wings will still be kind of loose so they can move. And then I'm also adding glue to this label. Now, the labels are sticky on the back, but because of all of the texture paste and everything underneath there, I wanted to make sure it stuck down, so I used that same adhesive there. And then I'm going around all of this with my Stabilo All pencil just to add a little bit of shading and also some more contrast. I just wanted some more dark. I like kind of pages that have like a border. I just think to me, they just look more finished that way. And so, and just going through now with my water brush and activating that Stabilo pencil. And I'm getting kind of a harsh line here around this label, which is not what I want. So, and that's because I don't have enough water in my water brush. And so I couldn't be bothered to fill it right at this particular moment. So I just sprayed some water on my desk there, and I'm just pulling it up with my brush, and then I'm going to go around and activate all of that pencil, just kind of smearing it out just so it gives it kind of a little bit darker around the edge, and it's not going to really cover up. It's not going to stick over the areas that the metallic is, so it just kind of gives it another little layer of interest, kind of a border around there. So I'm just going in and just smearing it out. I don't want like a harsh line, so I'm kind of trying to fade it into the center of the page there. And then I'm going to go around all of that with some archival ink in black soot, just to add just a little bit more black around the edges. And that is going to be it for me. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. That just helps other people find my channel. And subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time. Bye.